First, let me say to everyone a very Merry Christmas to you and to your family here from Sports Talk Extra. So thankful you decided to watch us. Hey, maybe it's Christmas Day when you're watching this, but Merry Christmas to all of you. And speaking of Christmas, the Cleveland Browns just got a phenomenal Christmas present in the form of a win against the Houston Texans, a win against a team that honestly they were in the wild card hunt for. And so it was one of those things that it was just fantastic. And if you watched my video earlier, just a few days ago, I talked about the line and how it's beat up and how they can find a way to run the ball. And we talked about how they could use a power run scheme and all that kind of stuff, or they could just flat out throw it. And they decided to flat out throw it. So we're going to talk more about the game. We're going to talk about that stuff, but we're also going to talk about the playoff picture and why it is a Christmas present, because it's more than just a win. It's what other teams did too. All right, so we need to absolutely pay attention to that as well, because other teams did their share to help out what was going on with the Browns. So first, let's take a look at the game itself. Flacco, here's what I have. I have the best question. When did Joe Flacco become a gunslinger? Because that's never how I viewed him. And now here he is at 38. Arm looks as healthy as ever. He is slinging it all over the field. It is just absolutely a beautiful thing to watch. It's honestly a ton of fun to be able to see and to be able to watch. Just seeing how Joe Flacco just has this reckless abandon all of a sudden. Yeah, sure, he's throwing interceptions. Yeah, honestly, he's throwing interceptions like crazy, but he's throwing touchdowns like crazy. He's throwing deep balls. He's throwing to one-on-one coverages. He doesn't care. He's throwing the ball deep to Amari Cooper, who went for 265. He is the fantasy football darling this week. He has been unbelievable. You see the running game. It wasn't producing anything. They tried taking Flacco out, doing some wildcat type stuff. DTR was in for a couple plays. They could not get the running game going. It did not matter because they were so much better than Houston. And what I thought was one of the awesome things to watch in this game is Houston's been a great story this year. All right, CJ Stroud, you got that going on. You got Will Anderson, but you take out those two guys, and it shows me a couple things. One, how good those guys are. But number two, the Cleveland Browns are a stupid, talented team. They went out there, and they just absolutely manhandled an inferior opponent in this week's game. And you can see when they didn't have the quarterback, they're playing against pretty good teams and it's kind of back and forth. They're winning, they're not winning, they're winning. They're beating good teams in close games, but it was so nice to see them just flat out destroy a team. And that's exactly what they did in this game. And that's why there's so much hope for them in the playoffs. So let's look at more of this Christmas present, all right, that they were getting. First, the Dolphins, it doesn't matter. Chiefs, they're there, but none of it matters for the Browns. None of this stuff matters, 2 through 4, unless this team, the Ravens, start to lose. But the Ravens, speaking of them, they have the 49ers tomorrow, all right? The 49, two best teams in the league, at least the two best teams in each division right now, or in each conference right now. And then they go play the Dolphins, who just beat the Cowboys at home. So the Ravens, yes, are a very, very good team, but they don't have a just easy game going out. They've got the 49ers, then they have the Dolphins, and then they have the Steelers, who I thought were dead in the water, and they still kind of are as far as making the playoffs go. Well, not necessarily, but they just won, and won handily. So let's look at this. And they have percentages of what is their playoff probability. Now the Dolphins are in, so it's not even 99%. It's greater than 99%. All right, the Ravens are in. We know that. Chiefs are at 99%. Jags, 66%. Browns, even though they're behind the Jags, are at 99%. They have as good of a chance to make the playoff as anybody else. And I think that's the amazing thing. All of a sudden, the Bills just leapfrogged everybody because the Colts lost. The Texans lost to you. Congratulations. All right. The Bengals lost. All right. To the Steelers. The Broncos, who knows what's going to happen? All right. If they win, they're up to 36%. But they're basically all jockeying for 6 and 7. The Browns have a far greater chance. In fact, there's an article here on CBS. They have a far better chance statistically to get the number 1 seed than they do to fall out of the playoffs. Like, how cool is that? And this face of Joe Flacco says it all. Like, that's exactly what you're looking for. He's thrilled. What a great game they played. So how do they do that? First, they need to win out. They need to beat the Jets. They need to beat the Bengals. They will be favored in both of those games. They will be. All right. Then they need to win the AFC North, and they get the help from Baltimore with that. All right. They need the Ravens to throw them a bone and lose some football games. All right. 2 to be exact, at least. At least 2, and then we'll see what it goes down to with all the other stuff. All right. Then they need to get some help from the Chiefs and the Dolphins. But really what you're looking at, what you would like to see, forget the number 1 seed. Find a way to get past Baltimore. You don't have to hop the Chiefs, the Dolphins, and the Ravens. You just need to pop Baltimore. And you have right now, to get the number 1 seed in this article, it was saying if you win out, you have like a 12% chance of getting it. That's better than your chances of dropping out of the playoffs. It is a great time to be a Browns fan. And you know us on this channel. We're Lions fans that we started this channel, Sports Talk Extra. Now we're really just focusing on the Browns because the community with the Browns has been absolutely amazing. So we're sitting there, we're talking to you guys. It is a great time to be a Lions fan. It is a great time to be a Browns fan. Lions just clinched the division for the first time since '93. Browns are getting in the playoffs, not guaranteed yet. So I'm not sitting here saying it's a done deal because I'm not going to jinx your fan or your team. I don't have the power to do that, but even if I did, I'm not going to do it. So really excited for everybody. Dog Pound, let me hear you. Like this is a lot of fun. This has to be one of those games where you're feeling good about. And going back to the video I just did, more proof that Kevin Stefanski is just a darn good football coach. He had this team ready. They were firing on all cylinders. And it looks like they're now getting comfortable. They're getting comfortable with what this offense looks like under Flacco. And so now the offense is starting to show that it can do some things, and it doesn't have to win by winning 20-19, 20-13, 19, like it can be games that are considerably harder. Like, and I just think that that's so great to see. That is so great to see if you're a Browns fan. Like the last 3 games, 31-27, then 20-17, you can win that game. And then 36. That's more points than you've been scoring. It's really fun to watch. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're loving what the Browns are doing. I know you are. It's going to be fun watching them play some playoff football, isn't it? All right. Keep watching on this channel. We want to be your number 1 go-to sports or a source for the Browns. See ya. Thanks for watching.